I've been moaning quite a lot recently about the way in which PlayStation 5 handles saves, and specifically the way in which it handles saves from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5. So for instance, if you've got a game like Spider-Man Miles Morales with the special edition and the original version of Spider-Man with the uprated graphics, transferring the save from your PlayStation 4 to your PlayStation 5 is a pain in the arse, and if you haven't got your PlayStation 4 anymore, it's impossible. On top of that, they've locked saves behind a paywall, which is unforgivable as far as I'm concerned. But if I'm going to criticise Sony for doing this, I'm going to have to criticise Nintendo for exactly the same thing, because the fact of the matter is, Nintendo are far worse. And they've been far worse ever since the Switch first came out. Saves on the Nintendo Switch are stored on the console itself. Even if you buy the physical edition, you don't get saves on the cartridge. The saves go to the console. And I don't know if you know, but that's a problem. And the reason that's a problem is that if you lose your Switch or your Switch gets broken, that's it, your save's gone. But never mind. Nintendo came along with a solution a little while after the Switch was released. And the solution was, you guessed it, a paywall. So Nintendo Switch saves now, if you sign up to Nintendo Switch Online, that wonderful service that provides absolutely bloody nothing for the money and locks your saves behind a paywall, then yeah, you can back up your saves to the cloud. Sometimes. Because not all games back up to the cloud. The fact of the matter is, even now, some years after Nintendo Switch Online came on stream, many games still don't back up to the cloud. And if we look here, I've got an article up from Nintendo Life that came out in January. And it's got a list here, and there's other lists online you can go and have a look at, of all the games that don't back up to the cloud. You've got 1-2 Switch, and there's a whole load of them. Dark Souls Remastered. So you play through that, you lose your console, you've lost your save. Doesn't matter whether you're subscribed to Nintendo Switch Online or not, you've lost your save. And then you go down here, and you get to some really interesting ones, because Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Now, Pokemon Sword and Shield, people put in hours and hours and hours into those games. If they lose their console, that's it. Their save's gone. They can't back it up to the cloud. They've had it. Oh yeah, if you buy a new Switch, you can transfer the save from your old Switch to your new Switch, and that's a pain in the arse as well, and I've made videos about that. But, as I say, you lose your Switch, you lose your save. No two ways about it. You've had it. And then you've got Splatoon 2. That's another one. I've had people coming in, and this is the thing for me. I keep getting people. I've made a few videos now talking about how to transfer saves from one Switch to another Switch, or how to back up saves to the cloud. And people are coming in and saying, oh, but how do I do it with Splatoon 2? How do I do it with Pokemon Sword? I've put all these hours in, and I've lost my Switch. And these people aren't subscribed to Nintendo Switch Online, because why would you be? Because Nintendo Switch Online is still a pile of steaming you-know-what. And they've lost their save. And for me, this is unforgivable, that you would lock your saves behind a paywall like this, and you would make it so that there's no other option, because it's not like you can put a USB stick into your Switch and back up your saves. Oh no, none of that. Nintendo don't want you backing up your saves manually onto a USB stick or anything like that. Why would you do that when they can make you pay to save them to the cloud? Oh, and then not be able to save them to the cloud because these games don't save to the cloud. And then it gets even worse with a game like Animal Crossing, which you couldn't back up or save in any way, shape or form until the Animal Crossing Island transfer tool was released, and now you can back it up using the transfer tool, and oh, God knows. The point is, it's really convoluted and really confusing for people. I mean, I spend my time making videos about stuff like this. And I have to keep checking. People ask me, oh, can I back up Splatoon? And I'm like, oh, can they do it now? Can they not do it now? No, they can't. No, they can't. Yes, you can transfer Splatoon 2 from one Switch to another. But that doesn't help you if you've lost your Switch, does it, Nintendo? So, if you go out and you buy this new Nintendo Switch OLED that they're bringing out, which I made a video about that, but the more I think about it, the more I think it's a pointless waste of effort. If you go out and buy the new Switch, yeah, okay, look, you can transfer your Splatoon 2 to it. But what happens if you're, like a lot of people are, you're a bit strapped for cash and it's coming out and you've got it pre-ordered and you're thinking, oh, I'm really excited for the new one, but I need the money. So I'm just going to wait a few weeks for that to come out. But in the meantime, I'm going to sell my previous Switch, my current Switch. I'm going to sell that one on so that I can get the new one. Because, I'm a kid or whatever, I haven't got a lot of money, I've been saving up for this, I'm really excited about the OLED screen, but I need the cash. So I'm gonna sell my Switch, I'm gonna keep that money put aside, put it in a little jar or whatever it is you do, put it in my bank account, and then when the OLED comes out, I've got it pre-ordered, it'll arrive, and I'll be great, and then and they go in, because, it's a kid, or it's somebody who hasn't, spent a lot of time looking into this stuff, and they sit down and they think, great, okay, good. I'm going to play Pokemon Sword, or I'm going to play Splatoon 2, and I'm going to carry on from where I No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to carry on from where I left off, because I bloody well can't carry on from where I left off, because I don't have my Switch anymore that had the save on it, and I've bought a new one, and now I'm going to have to start all over again. And I know, in the grand scheme of things, this isn't a huge deal. People are dying in the world and all the rest of it, but it's bloody annoying, isn't it? And when you compare it to the competition, and I know Nintendo don't like to, pretend they're not competing with Sony and Microsoft, but the reality is that I look at Microsoft and I look at the way they handle cloud saves and everything, so much easier. I pick up an Xbox controller, turn on my Xbox, I'm logged in as me, and I carry on from where I left off. I come to my PC, I start playing, Forza Horizon 4, carry on where I left off. Go on to cloud gaming, carry on where I left off. Nintendo can't even manage to make it so that the bloody games saves are back. You can back them up. You can't. Some of these you just cannot back them up. Because like I say, it's on the console. These games, all of these games here, they're on the console, and I know I keep stressing that, but it breaks or you lose it. Some tow rag steals it. Not only have they stole your bloody console, they stole your saves. They've stole all that time you put in. It's pathetic. It really is pathetic. And Nintendo should have sorted this out years ago. Even if they were going to lock it behind a paywall, at least make it so all the bloody games work. It's typical bloody Nintendo, and while people put up with it, they will keep bloody doing it, and it's just not good enough. And I'm sick of it. It's happened to me. It's happened to me where I've lost saves because I had a situation where I had to send my Nintendo Switch Lite off to be repaired, and I forgot to back up the saves. And guess what? I lost them. And then on top of that, the bloody Switch came back, and the battery, because it had a dodgy battery, the battery still wasn't working. So now I'm going to have to go and buy a new battery from eBay or Amazon or somewhere and fix it myself, because I'm buggered if I'm sending it off for another 4 weeks to come back in exactly the same state. But anyway, look, I'm getting off topic. It's illustrative of the kind of lackadaisical approach that Nintendo seem to have to their customers and to their products. And this current, or this new OLED Switch is just illustrative of that. While they can get away with this stuff, as I said before, while they can get away with this stuff, while they can just do it, get away with half-assed products, just throwing them out the door and people just buy them, because it'll sell out, won't it? It'll sell out, and then people will go, oh, I've lost my save, or what's happening, why? And then they'll be on my videos asking me why. And why wouldn't they be? And Nintendo will just be laughing all the way to the bank. And I'm sick of them. I'm sick of the way they carry on. They need to sort themselves out. They need to be more customer friendly, but they never will be. because of the fanboys and the hype that surrounds all their products, and the fact that whoever it is now, Doug Bowser or whatever, could come on a stage and he could crap on the stage, put a label on it that said Nintendo Switch new and improved, and everyone would go out and buy it. And it drives me insane, because the way they handle backups, the way they handle saves, and the way they handle all sorts of other things as well, like the 32 gig to 64 gig on the new Switch. Whoa. Is piss poor, frankly. It's piss poor. And people just put up with it. But anyway, look, I'm ranting on now, so I'm going to stop and I'm going to grab myself a cup of tea and ease my voice, because I'm not happy. This should have been sorted years ago. Anyway, I'm off. I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye.